Yeah. Well, good, good, good. Well, let's get going for today. So, like I said, good time away. It's always nice to get a little vacay. For me, it always resets my mind. Um, it gives me a chance to kind of step away and think about things that I don't normally do. It just gives me a perspective shift. So, this one today, I really want to talk about something that I think can really simplify the way that we approach health. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make with wellness is that we spend too much time really staring at the outcome and not enough time really driving the right variables that create the outcome. And people say all the time, hey, gosh, I need to lose 20 pounds, or I want to get stronger. I want to improve my balance. I just want more energy. I want to improve my blood pressure. I need to improve my VO2 max. I just want to feel better. And those are all great goals, but part of the problem is that you can't directly control most of those things. You can't wake up in the morning and just decide that, hey, I'm going to have my body fat percentage drop to 10%. You can't decide that your VO2 max is just going to miraculously go up 10 points. And you can't force the scale to move 20 pounds unless you cut a limb off in a day. So you can't immediately change a lot of these things. It takes consistency and repetition day after day. And that's kind of the hard part, because all of those are really outcomes. And outcomes are usually delayed. What you can control are the variables that eventually create the outcomes. And this is where our attention needs to go. And what made me really think about this is we wanted to drive to Chicago. I mean, that's 1,500 miles away. That's a 3,000-mile road trip. But the only way we got there is one stop at a time. One day at a time, where we were going to go to the next hotel and the next hotel. And eventually, here we're back here talking today. So instead of waking up every day and really asking, am I getting closer to my goal? I want to start asking a different question. Did I drive the right variables today? Because if you consistently drive the right variables, the outcome eventually has very little choice. And for most people, I think we can simplify this down to really 3 daily variables. There's a lot of different variables that go into play. But for most of us, if we're looking for either weight loss, strength, health, energy, just an overall sense of wellness, if I can give you just 3 to focus on, let's do that. Okay? Just 3. I want to make it simple. So I want to really start thinking about something that I'm going to call 3 before noon. I want you to move, I want you to get some protein in, and I want you to hydrate. Not necessarily complete every target before noon, but get far enough ahead of each one that by lunchtime, you're clearly winning the day. Because one of the biggest secrets to consistency is not just what you do, it is when you do it. And the later you push the important things into your day, the more opportunities life has to interfere. You wake up in the morning with a plan. I'm going to go work out tonight. Then somebody schedules a late meeting. One of your kids needs something. You get home later than expected. You're hungry, you're tired, something comes up. And suddenly the workout disappears. And the same thing happens with nutrition. You tell yourself you're going to eat better today, but you barely eat breakfast. Lunch gets rushed. You realize at 7 o'clock at night that you've hardly eaten any protein for the day. And now you're hungry, you're tired, and you're trying to make good decisions when your discipline is at its lowest. And hydration works the same way. I mean, how many individuals are just chronically dehydrated? They seek coffee anytime they get a headache because they're chronically dehydrated. And you might drink coffee all morning. You get busy. You realize halfway through the afternoon that you've barely had any water. And then you try to drink a gallon before bedtime. And that's not a great strategy. So here's the principle I want you to remember. Win the variables before life gets a vote. Get ahead, early, and let's go through these 3. Variable number 1 is move. Your body was designed to move. And when you move consistently, almost everything gets better. Your cardiovascular system improves, your muscles, your joints, your insulin sensitivity, your mood, your stress, your sleep, your energy, everything improves. And your ability to maintain independence as you age improves. Movement is one of the highest return investments you can make for your health. But movement does not have to mean some elaborate 2-hour workout. It could be strength training. It could be cardio. It could be a brisk walk. It could be some zone 2 work. It could be intervals. It could simply be getting outside and accumulating steps. And the important part is that you intentionally move your body. And I would argue that the earlier that you can get at least some of that movement done, the better. Maybe your full workout happens after work. That's fine. But could you walk for 10 minutes in the morning? Could you take the stairs? Could you get 2,000, 3,000 steps in before lunch? Could you do a short mobility routine? Because something interesting happens when you start to move early. It changes the identity of the day. You no longer are somebody who is trying to exercise later. You are already somebody who moved today. And that matters. Momentum matters. So your first variable is simple. Did I intentionally move my body today? And by noon, I want you to be able to say, yes, I'm already underway. Number 2, protein. The second variable is protein. I think a lot of people make nutrition much more complicated than it needs to be. They're worried about every carbohydrate, every gram of fat, every ingredient, supplement, diet, every trend. And meanwhile, they consistently undereat one of the most important nutrients for maintaining muscle recovery, satiety, and healthy aging, and that's protein. Especially as we get older, muscle becomes incredibly valuable. Muscle helps us stay strong, functional, and it supports our metabolic health. And to maintain muscle requires 2 things in particular. You have to use your muscles, but you also have to feed it. And that means resistance training and adequate protein. But the problem that a lot of people have is they backload nearly all their protein into dinner. Breakfast might be toast or coffee. Lunch might be something small. And then they get to dinner and realize that they're nowhere close to their target. And now they're trying to consume an enormous amount of protein in one sitting just to catch up. That is why I want you to start earlier. Put protein into breakfast. Put protein into lunch. Create a head start. Maybe that is eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein shake, lean meat, whatever fits your preferences. The exact food is less important than the principle. Get on pace early. You should not arrive 6 p.m. and discover that you are 80 grams behind. And by noon, I want you to think, hey, I'm already well on my way. And something else tends to happen when you prioritize protein. You are usually less hungry. You snack less. You're less likely to raid the pantry at night. Food decisions become easier because you're not spending the entire day starving. So variable number 2 is, am I on pace to hit my protein target today? Not perfection, pace. That's an important distinction. And the last variable is hydrate. It's extremely simple, but simple does not mean unimportant. A lot of people walk around mildly dehydrated, then wonder why they feel flat. They feel tired, they get headaches, their workout suffers, their concentration decreases. Sometimes they even interpret thirst as hunger. And then halfway through the day, something realizes. I've had 3 cups of coffee and about 4 ounces of water. We can do better than that. So start early. When you wake up, drink some water. Take a water bottle with you. Start accumulating fluids before the day becomes chaotic. You do not need to obsess over the exact number every minute, but you should have some awareness of whether you are keeping pace. Because once again, catching up late is difficult. If you wait until 8 o'clock at night to realize that you've barely drank anything all day, then you've created a problem as well. And you can go to bed either underhydrated or you drink a huge amount right before bed and spend the night getting up to use the bathroom. Neither is ideal. So get ahead early. And by noon, you should feel like hydration is already taken care of. Not finished, but clearly on track. So variable number 3 is, am I on pace to hit my hydration goal today? And that's it. Move, protein, hydrate. 3 variables. And what I really want to get an understanding of today is that these 3 variables have a cascading effect. If you move early, you often feel better. When you feel better, you tend to make better food choices. When you prioritize protein, it usually controls hunger better. When you control hunger better, you tend to eat fewer unnecessary calories. When you hydrate, your energy and performance can improve. When your energy improves, you're more likely to move. So one good variable starts supporting the next one. And that is how momentum gets built. And this is where I want to challenge the way most people judge success. Because a lot of people wake up, step on the scale, see a number they don't like, and immediately feel unsuccessful. But maybe yesterday They exercised. Maybe they hit their protein. Maybe they hydrated. Maybe they went to bed on time. Maybe they did everything right, and the scale did not reward them yet. That does not mean the process is failing. It means the outcome is lagging behind the behavior. This is normal. So your job is not to force the outcome. Your job is to repeatedly create the conditions that make the outcome more likely. And this is a huge difference. Think about a farmer. A farmer can't walk into a field the day after planting and scream at the ground because nothing has grown yet. The farmer controls the variables, prepares the soil, plants the seed, waters it, protects it, gives it time. And eventually the variables are right, and then growth occurs. And health works the same way. You are planting seeds every day, but the problem is that people keep digging the seeds back up to see if it's growing. They check the scale, they check the mirror, they get frustrated, they change programs, they change diets, they abandon the plan. And what they really need was another 30 days of driving the right variables. So for the next week, I want you to change your scoreboard. Do not make your primary scoreboard your weight. Do not make it your body fat, your blood pressure, VO2 max. Those things matter, but they're lagging indicators. I want your daily scoreboard to be, did I move? Did I hit my protein? Did I hydrate? And even better, did I get ahead of all three before noon? That is a scoreboard you can control. 3 boxes, move, protein, hydrate every day. And there is another reason I like the idea of doing these things early. Your discipline is usually stronger before the day wears down. Decision fatigue is real. Stress accumulates, responsibilities accumulate, unexpected things happen. And by evening, your brain starts negotiating. I'll work out tomorrow. I deserve this. I'll start Monday. I'm too tired. Morning gives you fewer excuses. This is why I keep coming back to the phrase, win the variables before life gets a vote. You do not need to win the entire day before noon, but you can create massive head start. So get some movement, get your protein in to start your day, start hydrating. Now, instead of trying to rescue the day at 8 o'clock at night, you're protecting the lead. That's a different mentality. And you do this over and over and over, and what happens? All of a sudden, your outcomes change. So this week, stop staring at the outcome, stop getting discouraged by the lag, stop waiting for motivation, derive the right variables, move, protein, hydrate, get ahead early, win the variables before life gets a vote, and if you consistently do that, day after day, the outcomes you are looking for have a very good chance of eventually following. So let's have a great week. I'll see you in the gym. I'll see you in the clinic, and let's go grow some muscle. All right, see you guys.